In this video, I'll tell you about the horror stories of dropshippers using Aliexpress. Then I'm going to share with you my story how I almost got banned from dropshipping because of bad suppliers. Then I'm going to teach you how to find a good supplier, and finally how to fulfill orders. Hey, Avizu here. So first I want to start off with a little bit of proof so you guys know that everything I'm about to teach you guys is coming from my own personal experience. So as you guys can see, I have almost 14,500 orders since I started dropshipping. So what to expect from this video? First, I'm going to talk to you about the horror stories of other dropshippers using Aliexpress and why Aliexpress is bad. Then I'm going to tell you my personal horror story with third-party suppliers. Then I'm going to tell you why you should get a supplier and how to find a good supplier, and then finally how to fulfill orders with a supplier step by step. Aliexpress horror stories. There are people who have over 2,000 orders, and as you guys can see, like 90 of them just weren't shipped out. Like the supplier from Aliexpress just gave them fake tracking numbers, right? So this one at the top, he was probably scammed for over $20,000 or even more. So why you shouldn't be using Aliexpress for dropshipping? Well, because it's just more expensive, because you pay for each product one by one instead of bulk ordering, Also, if you scale with Aliexpress and you get a PayPal hold, usually you'll just get a higher hold, like higher percentage, or they will hold more money from you because PayPal will notice that you're an Aliexpress dropshipper and they're more strict with them. So why you shouldn't be using Aliexpress for dropshipping is also because of long processing times. Aliexpress suppliers, they are also dropshippers for other dropshippers. So that's why, they can have like 5 to 10 day processing times, which will cost you a lot of disputes, refunds, chargebacks, and you'll also get a ton of emails from your customers asking about like where is their order, and it will usually mean that you will have to spend hours replying to your customers, or you will have to hire more VAs. Another problem is they don't usually communicate with you, like they don't respond to your messages, they don't even message you, right? So that's also a problem because they don't tell you like how much in stock they have. They don't tell you anything. Another big problem is that with Aliexpress suppliers, you will have longer delivery times, which will cause lower Facebook customer feedback score. This is kind of like a new feature on Facebook. And basically, if you have low customer feedback score, Facebook can ban your Facebook page. Also, they can lower your reach and make your Facebook ads more expensive. And this is something that happened to me personally. So I'm going to talk about it in just a bit. Use Aliexpress only if you're a beginner, or if you use it to test just a few products, So I recommend, if you're a beginner, using the app DSers, which is just free. It's better than Oberlo or Shopify from what I heard, because it's just free. You don't have to pay anything for that. And once you get to like 30 orders or more per day, you should switch to a third-party supplier, a dropshipping agent. That's usually like, those aren't like on Aliexpress. Usually, as a dropshipper, you first start off on Aliexpress, then you get a third-party supplier or a dropshipping agent, and once you grow even more, you can also then move into like holding stock or private label and building a brand and things like that. So now let's talk about my personal horror story, how I almost got banned because of bad suppliers. So just a little bit of a like backstory. I worked with this supplier already, back in June 2018, when I scaled at the time to like 1 to 2K a day, when I was still a newbie, when I was just starting out. In October 2018, as you guys can see, I basically scaled very fast from zero to like over $10,000 a day. When I scaled so fast, I thought everything's going to be fine because I already worked with that supplier for, a couple of months, and I never had any issue with him. And so I thought like he's gonna ship in 2 to 3 days, as he promised. What really happened is like 10 to 14 days into scaling, I started to get lots of emails, like 50 to 100 emails per day. I started to get disputes. Also during the same time, I also got a PayPal hold and a rolling reserve on PayPal because I was using only PayPal. The thing is, like, Stripe or Shopify payments is not available in my country. And with my VA, virtual assistant, basically we found out that we had around 15 to 20 day processing time. And what is processing time is basically, from the day you get the order to the day when the product ships out. So, customers, let's say, customers on the 1st of October, they would order, and, what would happen is my supplier would ship them out on the 15th or 20th. So nothing would be happening for like 15 to 20 days. The customers, they wouldn't get any email, they wouldn't get any tracking, right? And they start to wonder, like, is this a scam? Like, what is happening with my order? And they started like really emailing me a lot, 50 to 100, per day, or sometimes even more. So, I knew like this supplier, I can't work with him anymore. So in November, I started to work with a new third-party supplier. And again, they told me they would ship in 2 to 3 days, once the products first arrive, which would take around a week, for them to get it from the factories to their warehouses, and then, once it's in their warehouse, they can ship it in 2 to 3 days. I thought everything's gonna be fine, but this time I started checking on them more, and we found out that again, we had 15 to 20 day processing times, and when you have 15 to 20 day processing times, it means like nothing happens for 15 to 20 days, and then you ship it out with e-packet, which takes another 15 to 20 days. So realistically, my delivery times were around 30 to 35 days. During November, I started to notice that my Facebook ads just started to get very expensive. I was also getting, 50 to 100 emails per day, and I had to hire 4 full-time VAs to just manage all those emails. And I was also getting PayPal disputes every single day. I got a notification, and basically, Facebook just told me that they're just like lowering my reach, making my Facebook ads more expensive. And at the time, my customer feedback score was around 1.5. Basically, when you have the Facebook customer feedback score at 1 or below 1, your Facebook page will be banned from advertising. What can do is they can also ban your domain, so your store domain. So let's say your name is trendystore.com, then trendystore.com, that domain will be banned from advertising on Facebook. 1.5 to 1, you're going to have a heavy ad penalization. And when you're at 1.5 to 2, you have light ad penalization, and above 2, you don't really have like any penalization. You have just normal reach. And as you guys can see, I was at 1.5, and at the lowest I got to 1.3 score, and right now I'm at 3.1. Just give you like an example of what really happens, guys. These are my results from January. As you guys can see, on January 21st, I got over 2, like the customer feedback score 2. So I just got rid of the penalization. As you guys can see, it's in green. In 20 days, I made only $18,000. My add to cart conversion rate was only 5.7%. And once I got rid of the penalization, once I stopped being penalized, it instantly just got to 10 to 11%, add to cart conversion rate, just like that. I didn't change anything. It just like I got rid of the penalization. And in just 11 days, I made $120,000. The penalization makes a huge difference. You really want to avoid this at any cost. And also something that's going to maybe look a little bit different or strange to you is the conversion rate on purchase. Why it says only like 0.38 or 0.84 is because I'm using card hook. So that's why like the Shopify dashboard, it doesn't count like all the orders. But on the first screenshot on the left, instead of 0.38% conversion rate, it was around 1.5, I think, conversion rate. And then after the penalization was gone, my conversion rate was around 3 to 4% instead of 0.84. When you have slow shipping time, you're gonna also get, lots of chargebacks, and then payment processors, they can ban you. That's why I'm currently working with Chargeback 911 to prevent and lower the number of chargebacks. And also another reason why I'm using BlueSnap as my payment card processor is that they are more dropshipping friendly. For more info about like BlueSnap and Chargeback 911, just go to my resource page. The link is in the description. As a beginner dropshipper, you first start with Aliexpress. Once you scale and you go to intermediate level, you basically start using a third-party supplier, or they're also called a dropshipping agent. And once you go into like advanced level, you can either still use like the third-party supplier, or you can move into holding stock, private labeling, and stuff like that, you know. So even though I had like bad experience with some third-party suppliers, you still need to use them if you want to go to intermediate and advanced level. You still need to use them, you know, in most of the cases. So next up, I'm going to talk about the benefits of those third-party suppliers, how to find a good, reliable supplier, and how to fulfill orders. So the benefits of third-party suppliers is you'll get cheaper prices, which will increase your profit margins. Another really good benefit is faster processing times. You know, they know how many orders you're getting, so they can prepare stock in advance and ship out products within like 1 to 3 days. Also, another thing is you can have faster delivery times, you know, because they can use a shipping method called Aliexpress, which usually you know takes around 7 to 10 days for goods to arrive. Or some also offer like DHL and other shipping methods which are even faster. So another really good benefit is they let you pay them after 3 to 7 days. So let's say they ship out the products now, but you pay them after like 3 to 7 days. And you know, this helps you with your cash flow. Because usually like when you have Stripe or BlueSnap, it usually takes a few or several days to get your payout, to get your money from your payment processor, from your merchant account, back to your bank account. So that's why, you know, those suppliers, if you have a good supplier and you have a good relationship, you know, they can let you pay them after 7 days. If you have a good relationship with your supplier, they can give you winners by telling you what is currently trending, what is a hot product. Some of my friends, you know, they asked their suppliers and they made over $1 million just from supplier recommended products. So this is a really good way for product research. And also another big benefit is that fulfilling orders can be very quick using CSV files. That can take you maybe like 3 minutes per day. Or some of the suppliers, third-party suppliers, they use an ERP app, which is basically installed on your Shopify store. And basically like everything is done automatically, so you don't even have to worry about it. Another big benefit is that you get custom packaging with your logo and your thank you note. There are also a few drawbacks that I want to talk about. You guys know me. I always like to talk about the benefits and also the drawbacks, the ups and downs, right? So the drawbacks of third-party suppliers is that you need at least 30 orders per day or more for them to work with you. Another kind of drawback is that you need to pay with wire transfers or Payoneer with most suppliers. Unfortunately, like most of them, they don't accept PayPal or credit card. So basically you're not protected. So you need to be a little bit careful. You really need to find, like this is crucial. You really need to find a good supplier. Otherwise, you might run into the same issues like me with the slow shipping time. So how to find a supplier? The first method is that you go to big dropshipping or Shopify or e-commerce Facebook groups with like 10,000 or more members, or you can even join my Facebook group and just go there and search supplier or agent or sourcing. And then you'll find like the then you'll find the post and just look for those with Chinese names, you know, because 99 of these suppliers are Chinese. So just message them, tell them how many orders per day you have and that you would like to work with them. I'm also going to provide a template on what to write them just in the description as well. Also, another method is you can post in those Facebook groups that you're looking for a supplier. Just write down like how many daily orders you have for them to notice you basically. And the last method, the third method, is ask someone who's at 6 figures or 7 figures or more if they can recommend you a supplier. This method sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, because sometimes you get a reply, sometimes you don't, because these people are very, very busy. How do you like actually find a good supplier? Well, unfortunately, you know, it is very hard to know who is a good supplier before working with them. You know, this is something that nobody talks about. Almost all of these suppliers, you know, have people who recommend them, who love them. Also, they have people who hate them and who had very bad experience with them. Usually, like their top clients, they get the best service, fastest shipping, you know, like they give them the best service. And with the smaller clients, like they have less time, like they don't take care of them as well. So they usually have a bad experience. What happens is that these suppliers, you know, they get greedy and they usually take on too many clients. And once that happens, they have too many clients. they start to ship slower, they start to make mistakes, everything starts to get slower. So you really need to be also careful. In my personal case is that some suppliers are good at low volume. Before, when I was at like $1 or $2K, $2,000 per day in revenue, it was still fine. But once I got to high volume, I got to like $10,000, $12,000 in revenue per day. Then, they start to make mistakes, ship slow, and that's when things just start to break down. My best tip: look for some suppliers, talk to like, let's say like 3 or 5 of them. Once you find someone that you like, once you start working with them, make sure to check on their tracking numbers and tracking links, the tracking numbers every 2 to 3 days, and see if they're working. Check if the supplier is shipping out products on time as they promised. So really look at that, if they're fulfilling their promises. This is a really big telltale. Another good sign of good supplier is they're very responsive to your messages and they're very helpful. That's also a good sign. A bad sign is when they start responding to you late, in like 1 or 2 days, like in a long time. That's a bad sign. So Ivy, can you recommend me a supplier? Well, the only supplier who I haven't heard a negative review is Alan Kugelan. So I think he's from UK, right? But he's originally from UK, but he has a company in China and he ships from China. Message him only if you have 50 plus orders per day, and tell him Ivy Zhu gave you his contact info. Just don't worry about like these links. This presentation PDF file with all the links will be in my Facebook group. So just join there and just download this PDF. So don't worry about that. How do you actually fulfill orders with a supplier with CSV files? So step number 1 is go to your Shopify dashboard and go to your orders section. And there click on the order, click on the export, right? And there you choose the orders by date. Choose the dates that you want to export and click on export. And this is going to be exporting a CSV file, which you can later send to your supplier. If you're worried about privacy or about some information, what you can do is you can download Exportify app, which is I think a paid app. So this is also another way. And step number 2 is send it to your supplier, that CSV file. If he has the goods ready in his warehouse, usually he will ship it out and send you the tracking within 1 to 3 days. If he hasn't, it usually takes around 5 to 7 days for him to buy the goods from the Chinese factories back to his warehouse. So it will usually take 5 to 7 days for him to get the goods to his warehouse, and then he'll start packaging and shipping it out within like 1 to 3 days. So then he should send you like an Excel file with the tracking info. So the tracking CSV file or Excel file, these should have columns that are absolutely necessary, which is the order number, the tracking number, and the name of the carrier, which can be like China EMS, or SF Express, ePacket and stuff like that. If he sends you a CSV file, make sure to use the text to columns feature to turn your CSV file into an Excel file, because you need the Excel file so you can put it into the Mass Fulfill app, which is step number 3. Get the Mass Fulfill Shopify app, which is a free app. Then click on Fulfill Orders. In that app, just upload the Excel file. And once you upload the Excel file, then you should make sure in step 6 is that Mass Fulfill recognizes all the correct columns. So the order number columns should be the order number, the tracking number should be the tracking number, and carrier should be the tracking carrier column, so that it recognizes correctly. Because sometimes what happens is Mass Fulfill will do like the order number, and it will actually take the column from the tracking number, which will just mess up the fulfillment. So you really need to make sure that everything just matches up. Step number 7, which is optional, but I highly recommend this step 7, is download Reconvert Shopify app. This app allows you to add a track order button on your thank you page, so people can easily track their order with one click, because they usually get an email, right? And they click on, their order, and this will lead them to your thank you page. And then once they got to your thank you page, they're going to see the tracking number. And as you can see in the screenshot, is there's a track button, and they just click it, and they instantly see all the tracking info just there. So it makes it very easy. And because you will have this button, you'll get less emails of customers asking like, where is my order and stuff like that. So this is a really good way, how you can reduce the amount of emails that you get. Reconvert app also allows you to do post-purchase upsells on the thank you page and surveys, and it has a ton of features. So I highly recommend this app. There's a 60-day free trial link. Link is just in the description. Some closing thoughts is that finding a winner and scaling is the easy part. I know a lot of people who are at 6 figures and 7 figures. Finding a winner and scaling, it seems like it's the easiest part, and the hard part is like, how do you scale without making big mistakes that can get you banned or mess everything up? Because I know a lot of dropshippers, and when they first scaled their store, they just made a ton of mistakes, and a lot of people almost got banned because they made the mistakes, because like nobody talks about these things. Nobody talks about the mistakes, that I talk about on my channel. Because like most gurus, they teach you only how to scale, and how to like find a winner and how to scale the winner, but they don't really teach you, what to do next, how to secure a business, how to make your business last long term, how to not get banned. So dropshipping, isn't just product research, finding winners and Facebook ads, which is the only thing that gurus teach. Dropshipping is a real business where you need to learn lots of skills that just aren't being taught in courses. That's why me and 3 other dropshippers, which are at 6 and 7 figures, we are currently working on an exclusive group coaching program. Just a quick disclaimer is that this group coaching program isn't for everybody. It's only for serious people who want to build a real 5, 6, 7 or even more figure dropshipping or e-commerce business. We're still currently working on it, but once it's gonna be ready in probably like 1 to 2 weeks, I'm gonna announce it in my Facebook group, on my Instagram, and also on my YouTube. So just stay tuned for that. If you found this video helpful, make sure to smash the like button, the subscribe button, and turn on post notification so you don't miss out on any of these value videos. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below and ask me a question, or just simply comment #IvyLeague to let me know that you enjoyed this video. And also, if you have any friends who are interested into e-commerce and dropshipping, make sure to send them a link. I think they're going to find this video pretty helpful. They're going to learn like what to avoid, what mistakes to avoid. Also, they're going to learn how to find a good supplier, and also how to fulfill orders. So make sure to share this video with your friends. And also, if you want, you can also check out some of my older videos. Basically, you guys can see my journey, how I went from $0 to $1,000 a day in my first month, and then later on, how I scaled to 10,000 and even more per day. So guys, check out my older videos. And also, my last 5 videos. My last 5 videos are value packed, very value packed. So check those out as well if you want to learn how to do dropshipping properly in 2019.